Hello folks, welcome to the next installment of Let's Play AGEOD's Civil War. I tried to make this video the first time and talked way too long and blew way through my 10-minute limit for these videos, so I'm going to try to do it again a bit faster. I was excited about showing you guys this turn because I finally get to introduce armies and corps. So first off, let's look at Irvin McDowell here. He's a 3-star general, and up until now we've treated him just as a 3-star general. But if you see over here on the right, it's not just General McDowell, but he's attached to an Army HQ unit, meaning this is an Army, not just a 3-star general, but a full Army. You see right here it says Union Army. These Army HQ units, you can build a few of them throughout the game. Here's one. I built it earlier, and he's sitting there waiting for me to figure out what I'm going to do with him. I have a few Army units being sent across the map now for future use. But Irvin McDowell here, he's already in an army, so he's our first one, and we'll start by using him. So what's an army good for? Well, first off, armies are good because you can create corps. A corps is a stack like this one. You see I've got 3 divisions in it, plus Thomas Meagher, plus a few helping supporting units, under this 2-star Lew Wallace. And if you look at this stack, look over here on the right, he has a 15% command penalty, because this is too many troops for this one 2-star to handle. Until I press this button. I'll do that now. And you can see we got a new icon over here saying this is now a corps serving under Irvin McDowell. And you notice the command penalty went away. That's really the first advantage of using corps, of turning stacks into corps, is that they can handle more troops in one stack than otherwise. So this stack is a power now of 1,673, which is a pretty big number. And I believe I can put a 4th division in there, and you still won't have a command penalty. But this is the corps I'd like to create for now. So that's the first advantage of creating corps. They help get rid of command penalties. The second advantage is called marching to the sound of the guns. And what that means is, so I got these 2 corps here, and they're in the same region. So this is a bad example. But if I had those 2 corps, say, in these 2 adjacent regions over here, and one of them got into a battle, the other corps might march to the sound of the guns and assist in that battle. So that battle won't just be between the corps that's here and the attacking Confederate army, but it would be both corps fighting on our side. And that can be really useful to sort of advance on the Confederates with corps marching sort of side by side, because they'll help each other out if necessary. So that's the second good advantage to using corps. And the third advantage of using corps is that, so Irvin McDowell here, he has statistics. He's a 222 general. Each of these corps is going to inherit some advantages. They're going to inherit in some way his 222 status, which isn't a very great statistics, but it's a little useful. Later on, hopefully, we'll have an army under Ulysses S. Grant, who has great statistics. So having corps under him, inheriting his statistics, is a wonderful thing to have. So those are the 3 advantages, I think, of using corps. Getting rid of command penalties. They can march to the sound of the guns and support each other in adjacent regions. And they can inherit the overall commander statistics. There are probably other advantages, but those are the 3 that I'm very familiar with. So I've created these 2 corps. I'm going to send one here to Alexandria to take up defensive duties there. I'll send the other off here to Harper's Ferry. I'll railroad them to take up defensive duties there and hopefully move forward through this region in the future. If I notice that Winchester is lightly defended, I may attack there, and then if Strasburg is lightly defended, I may attack there, and hopefully push the Confederates out of this area in 1862. We'll find out if that's possible, but that's why I'm sending a slightly stronger force here to Harper's Ferry. It's not just defensive. I'm hoping they're offensive. And I'm sending them there so I can take these troops and these troops. I'm going to pull them back here to Washington, D.C. to make more divisions here. And that's just about it going on this turn. I'm going to move those corps. Next turn I'll pull these guys back. Leave Ulysses S. Grant where he is. Once the snow clears, hopefully we'll attack towards Lexington. Still waiting in St. Louis for some of these troops to arrive to make all the divisions I want there. And finally, Joe Hooker is just about here at Fort St. Philip, and it looks like his cohesion's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attack Fort St. Philip right now. And I guess hopefully next turn he'll be besieging that fort. So let me pause it and think about if I forgot anything, and maybe I'll hit end turn and bring it back if there's a battle occurring or something. So hold tight. Okay, folks, I'm back. This is the next turn. There was nothing nothing I left out last turn, and nothing interesting happened during the inner turn. There were no battles or anything, but we do have some interesting movements, which I'll go over. Things are starting to warm up a little bit. So, see all these lines here. I had forgotten to give these two corps some supply units, so I'm sending a couple supply units off in their direction. Meanwhile, I'm pulling back the troops that had been defending these two positions up until now. I'm pulling them back to Washington, D.C. In order to make more divisions out of the troops I have here, plus them next turn when they all get there. Now, you'll see Beauregard's popped up again here in Winchester. So much for my idea of pushing the Confederates out of this area. They have a lot of troops there right now, but luckily this corps is defending the area. By the way, in the last inner turn, Phil Kearny, who I had leading a division as a 1-star, got himself auto-promoted to be a 2-star, and he took over command of this corps, which is fine by me, so I rejiggered the corps a little bit. So General Mansfield here has taken over his division, and Phil Kearny is now leading this corps, which is fine by me. He has the reckless trait, but he also has really good stats, and he's good with cavalry, so I'll take it. Now, take a look at the screen and see if you can see my mistake. At the very end of the last turn, at the very last second, I decided to grab this division that was defending Pittsburgh and move him into Phil Kearny's corps. So you see he has 4 divisions plus the Irish Brigade right now. And I did that because I figured, in 2 turns I'll have a whole lot of divisions here in Washington, D.C. that I'll be able to move out to defend Pittsburgh in case they came in this direction. Well, guess what? This guy's heading towards Pittsburgh a turn or two before I've created divisions in Washington, D.C. that I could send there to protect him. You know, if he waited one more turn, I'd be in good shape, but he didn't. He's heading at it now when it's undefended. So I guess I don't really have much of a choice. I'm going to come to Kearny's corps and pull the Irish Brigade and 1 division out and railroad them to Pittsburgh. It'll take them 12 days to get there. And I hope they get there before E.K. Smith's corps does. Otherwise, we'll lose Pittsburgh, and it won't be the end of the game, but I'd rather not lose Pittsburgh right now. That leaves Kearny here, by the way, with a corps with a power of 1886. That should be plenty to defend against what the Confederates have here in the Shenandoah. So that's, I think, everything going on in the east. Those are all my movements. Moving here to Kentucky. Remember I was saying a few videos ago that the AI likes to invade up here into southern Indiana and southern Illinois? Well, here they come. Here's the European Brigade. So over here in Louisville, where I've built all these divisions, I have Buell with 2 divisions under him, and I'm going to pull him back across the river. It looks like it'll take him 22 days to cross the river, unfortunately. The Ohio River here. But them's the breaks. He's going to pull back, and hopefully I'll have him play zone defense and try to defend against incursions like this. We may lose Evansville. I have a small unit in there defending it, and he has a division of power 300. So we're probably going to lose Evansville. Maybe we'll lose Vincennes, but hopefully Buell will come in a couple turns and beat this back. Meanwhile, I took Grant and I gave him 3 divisions plus a lot of these support units that I had sent there a few turns ago, and I'll send him up here crossing whatever the heck river is. What is this river? I don't know the name of it. Anyway, he's crossing here. Looks like it'll take him 2 turns to do that, so he can then attack down here into Lexington. Hopefully we'll take Lexington from the Confederates and give Grant a victory. So moving a little further west here in St. Louis, I'm leaving one division here under Halleck to defend St. Louis because it's such an important city. I'm taking the rest of these guys, and I'm going to have them march all the way down here to meet General Lyon. It's going to take them a long time to walk there, but when they get there, he's going to have quite a large force to come over here and attack Little Rock. And once we've taken Little Rock, hopefully I'll be able to cross the Mississippi down into the Vicksburg area, where with any luck, Joe Hooker will be attacking that from the south. So I'm hoping to attack this area with two different groups, Joe Hooker coming from the south and Lyon coming from the west. That's my plan. So that's why I'm sending Lyon so many troops right now. If you look at the troops I'm sending down that way, you'll see that there's this division here and then two generals and a whole stack of troops. And you might ask, why haven't I created a division from all those troops? Well, the answer is neither of these two generals is active right now. This is enough troops for each of them to get a nice healthy division, but I can't create the divisions right now. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on them as they march through Missouri. Every turn I'll come back to them and see if they've activated and create the divisions for them when that becomes possible. Finally, down here, Joe Hooker's made it to Fort St. Philip, and he is besieging it. I put him in defensive mode. I'm going to give him a one-turn break to build his cohesion back up. Then I'll probably just assault the fort, because this fort has just about the same sort of defensive force as Fort Pike did, and we successfully assaulted that earlier, so I'll wait a turn and then just have Hooker assault the fort. I think that's about it for this turn. Sort of quite a lot, something going on in each theater anyway. We have some incursions to take care of. We have some problems possibly up here in Pittsburgh. So let me pause the video again, and I'll hit end turn and come back if there's any battles to talk about. Alright, so there's one battle, the Battle of Evansville. We had that small force there trying to hold it, and we lost. Evansville has been taken by the Confederates. Fortunately, we seem to have, inflicted as many casualties as we took, almost, which isn't bad news, considering it was a small force up against a much larger force. Let me pause it. We'll see if there's any other developments coming up. So, alright, that's it for the inner turn. Looks like we managed to hold on to Pittsburgh for the moment. We'll talk about the situation going into the next video. I think this video ran a little bit long. YouTube recently told me that I can upload videos up to 15 minutes, so I guess this will be my experiment, see if that works. But in the future, I'll try to hold them for under 10 minutes going forward as best I can. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next installment.